Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to another episode from me, Avomance, in my Minecraft Seeds and Reviews series. Last week, we were in Bedrock, and Venice shared with us this episode 47, which is an amazing seed. So many amazing biomes, it was beautiful. If you played Bedrock, this is an absolute winner. It could almost tempt me to play Bedrock. That's how good it was. We're back to Java this week. Let's go and have a look. Episode 48 of the seed is here. World name is the seed because, well, otherwise I'll lose it, but we do still need to go through to the more world options to put it into the seed bit. Otherwise it's a terribly sad day for everyone, and on we go to create the new world. This one, I'm told, is an absolute doozy. And we have appeared on a plains, which is nice. It looks like there's a swamp there, some birch, plenty of desert, and that looks like a mesa, my friends. Let's get myself a block so as I can get some height and remember where it is I actually spawned in. And we are up on top of our stone pillar now, and we have got a great biome diversity right at spawn. Swamps, mesa, deserts, a village right there, beautiful river coming through to this little plains, and it really is a little plains, although it does roll on over there as well. Loads to think about. Which way, more importantly, is north? North is this way, right over the swamp. So why don't we go and have a look and see what's waiting for us over there. So flying out in a northerly direction, the swamp was a bit of a damp squib, frankly, not really any wetness at all. It's all land, very difficult to do anything of any substance in there, except chop down all of the oak. So I definitely recommend that. And we've got a mixed forest here. We've got oak and birch there, which is great, and loads more birch there, so you've got plenty of wood to make the things that you don't actually need the wood for, like chests and stuff like that. However, look at this, a big wet swampy swamp. I do love a big wet swampy swamp. This is absolutely banging to be able to come and sort yourself out a bit of a slime farm using an iron golem. They are spot on for this type of swamp. Get rid of that little island in the middle. It makes it even better still, and that takes almost no terraforming. We do have a broken portal right there as well, really quite close to spawn, which is only over the other side. Clipping the edge of the mesa here, but is that the same mesa? I think it might be the same mesa, not entirely certain. Am I still facing north? Yes, I am. I think that might be a wraparound of the mesa. I'm not entirely certain. We'll be able to work that out when we actually go into the mesa itself. We've got a small, and it really is a small, look at that, a small little plains area, very flat bit there. You could make a tiny, tiny little village. This is a village area of a plains, bit of a small project, but that is quite nice. But what I do like coming up is this shattered savannah. Look at that, that's amazing. You could do such an awesome build. Look at the shapes of that savannah as it comes out to you. You could almost imagine a really interesting looking steampunk coming on. You've got that side, and that. It's almost like London as it streams to you in that film. It's a really bizarre shape, and I love the way that's shaped. That's beautiful. We've got a village to the right hand side here. That is, I think, a relatively dull village. Not a lot to speak of there. Certainly doesn't look like they've got a blacksmith, which is my favourite. It does have a ravine though, so you could maybe get down fairly deep fairly quickly there. That's also, look at that. That is such a cool savannah. Look at that. You could build stuff underneath it. You can build stuff on top of it. Where is that coordinates wise? You're only talking about 1,500 blocks from the start, and you've got this absolutely superb looking thing. Massive big wheel there that you could put in there for a water wheel. So much going on in that. I love that. Then over the top of that, we have got a big desert. So often you get desert on the edge of savannah, isn't it? And you've got yourself a desert temple right there. Come and pillage it to within an inch of its life. I reckon that will be definitely worthwhile. Lots of stuff. What's on the other side of the desert? Well, the other side of the desert was an ocean and a coral reef. Coral reef being at around about 2,500 blocks, almost directly north. It is a tiddly tiny one, but it is still one. Come and get your sea pickles. Plenty there, and if you get your silk touch pick, I'm sure you can get some of that blocks as well. It does, however, have a really nice, that's bizarre, look at that, a really nice plains area, but I'm just looking at this down here. It is a covered ravine, and it's covered by single blocks. That is not something you see very often. Look at that, single blocks covering over the ravine there. That makes that quite interesting. Don't go digging around too much around here because you're going to go straight through. You've also got a savannah village right here. It is a little bit split. Not too nice to set off a raid on that one because you've got no idea which way they're going to come from. But You know, if that's what you want to do, you can definitely relocate the villagers or build yourself something on this plains and the village is right there ready for you. Am I still heading in the right direction? One asks oneself. Yes, one is, because we've got more desert and another desert temple coming out here at around about the 2,800 straight on the north. Lots to pillage, lots of savannah as well coming on the other side of it. It's quite a nice savannah actually. It's got two very distinct levels, one flat on the top, one flat on the bottom, with a river running right the way through it in a nice winding motion. You could build something really nice with that. We are heading straight out east from the spawning point right there across this desert. And this is going to take us to, just make sure I'm going in the right direction, this is going to take us into this savannah area here. We do have a double towered village coming right on the edge of the ocean there, which is nice. Double towers, always good because you can just run something between them, and as a result you can get yourself a bit of a raid farm going. They're not ideal because they're not placed at both ends of the village, but they're not too bad. You do have another broken portal there and another village right there as well. Plenty of villages on this one. You've also got a dark oak forest. This is the first time we've seen dark oak, but I really enjoy building with dark oak because it really works quite well if you've got a medieval build in your mind. Dark oak against some lighter backdrop works absolutely beautifully. If we carry on going in this direction, however, what are we going to find over the other side of the ocean? We have got some ocean ruins down there, so you can come and have a pop at that. That should have a little bit of treasure underneath the water there. We've got plains on the other side of the dark oak forest and what looks like a mountain taiga there as well, which is nice. So we've got our first real amount of spruce. Spruce is probably the most important building wood there is in the entire world, so it's good to be able to find one of those. Bit of a village on the edge of that. It's not a spruce village, it's not like a tiger village, it is a plains village, but we do not, by the look of it, still have ourselves a blacksmith, which also makes me sad. Heading out east again across this ocean because maybe there's something interesting. And what there was a load more dark oak forest with a bit of a rubbish mountain, but the flat edges potentially could be used quite nicely. Get rid of that monstrosity in the middle. You don't want that unless you've got some clever idea for it. That just has to go. But you do have a bit of an open area here, which means that maybe you can do a castle build on top of the mountain. We've got a bit of a mountains area here, so you can get some decent mining going. What have we got coming over in this direction though? What we found was a really nice plains area, not too much terraforming required, and you could do a really interesting build with that. I love the fact that you've got all the different woods so close by, plenty of birch to make your chests and your sticks out of, and then you've got all this dark oak forest here, plus a nice swamp. The swamp's actually quite nice because it's got plenty of trees for you to be able to cut down, but it also has plenty of wetness should you wish to do a little slime farm the way we did on the other one. I don't think there's a witch hut on this one, which is a bit of a shame. That would have made it absolutely perfect, but it is quite extensive, so plenty of oak. This is a good area. This could be a good choice for you to do a decent building. And obviously the game calls me a blooming liar. There is a witch hut right there, easy to get to, so you could double up yourself a little bit of a witch farm. If you stand yourself in the middle, you could double that up, witch farm come slime farm, and that's quite a nice little AFK spot. We're heading directly out south now, currently rolling right next to spawn, and we've got a savannah village to the right hand side, which is quite nice. It's not too split up, it's a little bit split up, but at least you've got a fighting chance to survive in a bit of a raid if you go there. But right next to it, we've got another desert temple. There's so many desert temples here. I guess there's a lot of sand, but lots of riches to be had very, very early on in the game. Then it comes out to a sprawling savannah. It's massive, big savannah, fairly flat, which is nice if you like building in the savannah. And you've got very little terraforming to have to do there, which is always good. You've got a bit of an ocean to the left hand side there, and it's got another coral reef, so we're reefed up to the nines. We're quite happy there. We've got another shattered savannah, which has got a very interesting shape as well. I think I prefer the other one, if I'm honest, but this one comes a close second. You could do something nice, and what I quite like about this is the fact that it's in a ring. If you come up here, you've got this ring shape that you could do something with. That's got great potential. I challenge you to do a really beautiful any type of build. Always you're looking at steampunk with shattered savannah, but you could do any type of build there. Beware that you've got a lot of sand that could literally fall down and lose all your shapes, so be aware of that. But what else have we got? More desert, obviously more desert, because this thing's just full of desert. And we've got another desert temple, I think, haven't we? No, we're going south. No, that is right. Another desert temple. How many desert temples has this place got? We've got so much riches to be had right at the beginning of the game. Now, the desert, yields into what looks like another savannah. I'm actually getting a little bit bored of savannas now. Can we do something different? But what I'm not bored of, get another desert temple. So is that 4 or is that 5 desert temples that we've already come across? We've only done 3 directions and we've just started doing this one. We do have a taiga biome on the other side. This bit of shattered savannah is less interesting, but is maybe a more basic shape. This big flat wall here, you could definitely do something coggy and wheelie to it. That's quite nice. And we've got a flower forest. Okay, first flower forest we've seen on this seed. In fact, we didn't see a flower forest on the entire previous 2 seeds. So first flower forest for 3 seeds. That's quite nice. We've got coordinates there of about 1,500 directly south, right next to a taiga biome, and also right next to a fairly decent sized plains. Has it got a village close by? Doesn't look like it. Has got a ravine though, so as you can be able to access the underside fairly quickly. You could do some nice building here, not too much terraforming. We've got a broken portal here, so you'll be able to find yourself a few little things from the nether, and we do have a village right there next to it. That is a good option. Look at this. What are your coordinates? They are about 2,000 directly south. You've got a big open space, desert nearby, taiga nearby, lots of different woods nearby, broken portal nearby. You've got plenty of ocean right close, and you've got a village. What a good find. As we come out across the ocean, we've got a shipwreck right there, which is good, so you can start some treasure hunting. We've got a bit more taiga there, quite a big sized taiga there. You've got the giant mega taiga, as they call it, and you've got plenty of podzol there. Bring your silk touch weapon and you are good to go. Lots and lots of wet spreading out in front of me. We are going to head out west, and we literally could be heading out west. We've got open mine shafts here with a spawner literally right there. It's so light that it actually won't allow anything to spawn, I suspect. So that's going to be really easy to make a cave spider spawner out of, which is brilliant. We've got a beautiful mesa. I can't see any of the eroded badlands at the moment, but look at these great 2 levels. You've got a very clear distinct floor level and a clear distinct plateau level, which is perfect if you want to be getting yourself a bit of a Wild West town. This area that we're flying over right at the moment would be beautiful for a Wild West little encampment. We've got all of this open space here surrounded by the mountains, and we've got a broken portal there as well, so you can come and loot that. Lots of options. What's on the other side of these badlands? I'll tell you what's on the other side of these badlands. More blooming badlands. Lots of open mine shafts. Lots of... Is that another... That's great. Look at that find. That spider spawn is literally open. Oh, no, I take it back. It is an open double spider spawner. Look at that. 1, 2. Completely open. It's mostly, I imagine, going to be utterly unspawnable because of the light levels. You can make yourself a double spider spawner there so easily. We have got some coordinates that are 1,450 by -253. How easy would that be to make yourself a dead simple spider farm? Absolutely beautiful. Completely going on. The mesa goes on forever and forever and forever. And right on the edge of the mesa, we have come out nearly 2,500 blocks. We found my eroded badlands. They just look so good, these guys. Perfect for building, perfect for something really dramatic, and I recommend you come and have a look at that. That's brilliant. The other side of it, we've got a really lovely plains actually. It's a big open area. You've got a little ravine there, but it doesn't take up too much space, which is good. You've got the mountains quite close to it, which is always great because it means you can get your mines going really well. And you've got dark oak right there. You've got your oak, you've got your spruce, you've got a little bit of birch, so as you can come and make chests out of it. That is quite nice. You've got not particularly wet swamp because it's so small, but you could maybe do something with that at a push. Just about. That's a nice area to come build in. You've got your desert really close, so as you've got access to all your sand and everything else that's necessary. I like this area. This is probably my favourite area so far to do a plains build. Very easily accessible wreck there under the ice. I guess it must have hit an iceberg. We're at about 3,000, and then it comes on to another fairly decent sized island with oak forest on top of that, and a bit of a swamp that edges out into the ocean. They're always the best ones to make your slime farms out of. I've sat myself at spawn and I've done some slash locates, and we've got the nearest igloo being nearly 7,000 blocks away. Now that implies anything frozen is quite a distance. So if you don't want to build with snow, this is actually a very good seed for you. Nearest jungle pyramid is only 3,500 blocks, which means the jungle isn't too far away. Mansion is a bazillion miles away. You're going to have to go there in the Nether, I'm sure. 26,000 blocks. That is a long, long distance to the nearest mansion. If you like doing those, get yourself on top of the Nether and get there fast. Nearest monument, 2,500 blocks away. That is about average, a little further maybe, but about average. Pillager outpost, however, quite interesting. So 1,500 blocks away. So that's quite a trot. Normally they're a lot closer than that. Stronghold is only 1,500 blocks away, and the nearest swamp hut is the one that we saw just a little while ago at 1,500 blocks as well. Let's have a look at the map in Mine Atlas, because graphically it's just far more pleasing. Now, no wonder I was going over that mesa for so long. It's absolutely massive, and you've got another mesa there and another mesa directly to the east as well, which for some reason we didn't see. I'm quite surprised by that. We do have mushroom islands down at the bottom. That is about 6,000 blocks, so further than we actually flew out. And also the jungle was almost directly south. We must have literally just missed it as we lapped around. We've got more jungle up the top. You can see we're completely surrounded by savannah and desert around here. But if you travel in this direction over to where my hand is now, you've got a lot more darker green. Plenty of ocean. The frozen is up in the northwesterly direction. It's a really lovely seed. Is that another mushroom shore? Yes, it is. Look at that. 3. All of them in the south. We are going to have a little bit of a nose around under the ground. If you don't want spoilers, then you best look away and watch one of my other videos in around about 3, 2, 1, and boom right now. So we've got a relatively open area actually. We've got a little bit of caveage, mostly the odd little ravine, some exposed ores there, which is nice, but that big ravine there is beautiful. Look at that. That stretches all the way around there to there. Small ravine down at the bottom. What I have noticed is that the closest mine shaft isn't directly underneath us. It is a little bit across over here. So we are currently in 14 minus 205 at a depth of 38. So you want to be around about 30 to find this fella. But what you do have here is a spider spawner, which is fabulous. Let me just come in. I'll give you the coordinates of that fella as well. That is down at 39. 28 on the Y minus 190, so that's quite a nice find there. Don't forget we had that double spider spawner in the open, which I think is probably the best spider spawner opportunity you are going to find. We do have this other spawner right here too, and more mine shaft spreading out into the distance. In fact, that really is spreading out into the distance, isn't it? Goodness me. Look how far that one's going. We've got ourselves a bit of a normal spider spawner there with some treasure chests too. It's fairly open in the mine shaft at 149, 38 on the Y, minus 85. So you should be able to find that. Now remember, if you go and look at this in a version of Minecraft that isn't 1.16, you may find these spawners are not in the same place. And that's because 1.16 has fiddled around a little bit with some of the seed algorithm. And as a result, whilst you get generally the same sort of landscapes, you often don't find the same things like this other spawner right here, which is at 86, 26, minus 138. Interdimensional time. Now, I'd like to see what the Nether is like. It's 1.16, remember, so the Nether is going to be very fancy. And I do want to see what we've got here. So we are safe from lava by the look of it. We've come out into the Nether waste, which is quite interesting. However, I can see, let me just get rid of these things so as they don't get in my way. I can see a bit of a crimson forest just over there. Look at lava leakage. Be very cautious. If you are a little bit across, you can end up being right on the edge of this, and that would not be particularly healthy. So Nether waste spawn. You've got instant glowstone over here. You've got a little bit of lava, but you're fairly safe from it. Coming around this way, looks like the Nether wastes carry on a little way in that direction. So got good mining, I would say. What you've got here is decent mining opportunity when you come straight through, but the biomes are a little bit of a trot away. Let's see how far away they are. So this is what we've got for our different biomes. The nearest basalt delta is 250 blocks away. That's not too bad. We've got a crimson forest at 268. The warp forest we know is literally just across the way at 91 blocks away. The nearest bastion remnant is only 100 blocks away. That's amazing. And the Soul Sand Valley is only 100 blocks away as well. Fortress 800 blocks away, but that is extremely common in the new Nether nether, they seem to be far more spread out. Everything really, really close for a good 116 nether exploration. Let's crack on with it. I came to the warped forest first because I thought this was really interesting warped forest spawn. You can see the portal is just over there. Look at this, it's all on a load of islands. It's a little bit like Skyblock for warped forests. That's amazing. I love that. It's going to be very difficult to get around, obviously. But actually, what an interesting spawn for warped forest. I'd like to see what the other biomes are like, though. The Crimson Forest that's closest by is quite shallow in terms of the gap. You can see the ceiling is right next to you where you are on the floor. So it's a little bit enclosed, but if you come this way, you can see it opens up beautifully. You've got vines hanging from the roof. It's a really attractive Crimson Valley. I must admit, I like it very much. Difficult to navigate in some areas, but that said, you've got everything you need. The basalt delta is fantastic. Look at it, little really craggy and frightening and scary looking. Not very many flat surfaces, so from a mob spawning perspective, you might find you don't get that much because you can see it's all different levels apart from when you actually physically come into this little bit of nether waste right here. But that looks fantastic, and from a thumbnail perspective, if you were going to just take a picture of that, that looks properly desolate and really, really nice. I like it very much. Plenty of blackstone open up and available. Plenty of basalt open up and available. Really easy one to get to, that one. I'm going to be honest, the Soul Sand Valley, a little bit rubbish. Really difficult to get to. Unless I suppose you could take a strider across the lava. But tough to get to this fella. Tough to navigate. Right next to the... you can see all the basalt and the basalt delta here. But I'm less enthusiastic about this particular Soul Sand Valley, although that said, it's going to be less likely to ghast you out of existence, which is a positive, I suppose, if all you want is the soul sand and the soul soil, so you can do the soul torches and things like that. But not that great for bones either. You'll notice not a single fossil in sight anywhere around here. Now, be aware that the Bastion remnant is pretty hidden. Look at this. You can only really get to it through a few little caves, and you have to dig in to get to those caves anyway, which is it's going to make it hard to find. But when you come in, it's a biggie, and it's actually really well put together. A lot of the Bastion remnants are in absolute bits. This fella is in less bits, so navigation across it is a little bit less parkoury, a little bit more simple to get to where you need to be. It does still have, obviously, the lava on the floor, so don't kill yourself, whatever you do. But all in all, that is a really nice Bastion remnant, apart from the fact it's difficult to find. It's got the second section around the back here, you can see, with all of those little lava lakes, and you've got a little bit more to pillage, if you like, a little bit more gold. Remember, if you are going to try and empty out one of their chests, do it with a hopper. Don't do it by opening it, because it can be hazardous to your health. Our fortress is here, right on the edge of a basalt delta, and you've got the nether waste here as well. It's pretty sprawling. It comes all the way out here. You can see it over here. We've got our first blaze spawner that's going to be able to... I think that's not too bad. If it wasn't for that lava, that would be an ideal place to get yourself a blaze farm. Absolutely. But it continues out into the basalt delta, digs itself into the rock. So not the most perfect to be able to build yourself a wither skeleton farm, I'm afraid, but not awful. This side is a little better. We've got far more structure on this side, you can see here, and this bit over here is far more over lava, so that might be a little more helpful when it comes to building things like wither skeleton farms. However, you can see my favourite bit, the warp fungus, just come inside, the warp fungus is right here, open to the elements, really, really easy to find, so you've got everything you need. Interestingly, the slash locate lies. There is our portal to be able to get back to the overworld. If we come just over here, what's this I find? Is that a fortress 800 blocks away? No, it's a fortress really, really close. If I bring up my F3 screen here, you can see that we are at 94 and 49, which is literally almost on spawn, which is brilliant, but it means the slash locate is a big fat fibber, and that's not what you want. We've, however, got a really nice blaze spawner right there, ready for us to be able to make a farm out of. That's in the perfect position, really easily accessible. You could do that with very little bother. What a really, really nice seed. I like this very much. Beautiful for building. Right at spawn, you've got everything you need. You've got great biome diversity in the nether. Within a couple of hundred blocks, you've got absolutely everything. And I thought you didn't even have a fortress, but there's one literally right at spawn there as well. It's superb. You've got everything you need. You've got witch huts. You've got your stronghold within 1500. I like this seed very, very much. So thank you, Robert Stoddard. Robert, thank you so much for sharing the seed. This is a real cracker. I'm really happy that you sent this across to me. It is, it's got a lot of inspiration to be had. If you like building around deserts and savannas, it's absolutely perfect. But you don't have to go too far if you want to do something else. If you've got a cracking seed, whether it is Bedrock or Java, I don't care. Send it through to me at avamancminecraft@gmail.com. That is avamancminecraft@gmail.com. And I will see if I can't include it in this series. However, you need to let me know why it's so good, because I've been sent hundreds of seeds and I only really want to put the ones that are really fantastic on. So give me lots of description, give me coordinates, give me all sorts, and hopefully I can include it in a future episode. If you have enjoyed this video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying it, and I will keep on making it. Also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club. I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.